beautiful beings. Bienvenido. Taking our moment of pause, we are at the park. Ooh, there we go. Look at that. Look at that. Very close to my house. Love that I can stroll over here. So in this video, I want to go in on corridors, specifically nature corridors. I'm usually filming my face, so this is new and exciting. But this is part of this zine, Buste Park, Birds, Bees, and Beyond, which is a zine that I made for Mural Arts Philadelphia. And the page we're going to work on is the centerfold coloring page of this zine that educates about pollinators that Mural Arts use for their programming, but also they hired me to make this zine based off of some of their information and things I know and how we wanted to collaborate. So I'm super excited about that. And so I was coloring the center page, probably like a printer mishap or something. Also, I've just been coloring more, part of my mental health. So this is, I drew this, and I'm coloring it. Okay, so nature corridor. So if we just think of like the extension of nature, like how far nature can travel continuously without interruption. So a corridor is just like a stretch of nature. And so we're going to start with low connectability. So that's kind of where I am now. We have the highway next to us. We've got water features, tall trees, mountain visibility, and I would say too there's like a corridor that might follow the highway along. This could also be another disruption, is like a mine site where you have a lot of it can be pristine nature or any kind of nature that is just then spliced. And so this is like saying nature on the other side. I'm not sure. The other side of this highway looks like a golf course, and I do see more like older trees. There's folks strolling by, so focus on my paper. So another aspect that blocks connectivity is urbanness and cities, and so I feel like that's like the other side of the park. You start to like go into the neighborhood. And right, there are some trees in the neighborhood. People have gardens. But if you think of like a wild animal and like going from here, and then this is not necessarily like nature, or it's like curated parks and more little patches of nature in here till you get to another, not necessarily pristine, but like lush, I would say, kind of like where I am here now. There's just a lot of vegetation around the lake. Of course, there's like human activity, but like a lot of life can thrive here. And so thinking of like nature spots like that, like high thrivability zones for wild creatures. Of course, buildings, obstruction. So then we're getting higher in connectivity. So these are rural places and farmland. So you go from that wild lushness, and then you kind of have like a field of like monocrop. You've got maybe some like domesticated enslaved animals, there's a lot of potential there. Or just like fences, start to see more fences. And usually these fences are easier to get through versus like an urban fence, if you can like think of it, the difference in that, or start to just notice it when you're traveling about, till you get to wildness again. And then this, you definitely start to notice in rural and like farmland spaces, people start to recreate more, or just like, I wouldn't say more, but that is something to think about, the accessibility of nature. It's like when there's a 4-lane highway, that's a lot more accessible than a 2-lane county road, or like a backwoods road, single track road on the side of a cliff. So think about that. There's more accessibility for, I would say, humans in these natural places, but then less accessibility for wild creatures, if that makes sense. Domestic wild. Okay, so we're getting higher in connectivity until like the most connective is just like wild and pristine. So it's like unutilized by human. I wouldn't say unutilized, but it's just like more, it's used in balance with nature, right? I would say like out of balance with nature, in balance with nature. So human activity is more like in alignment with like our more ancient practices. So the wildness, just like the corridor, is just like ongoing. And when people say like, you know, from wildness to domesticness, oops, that's sun. Just noticing that and there's like a different access here to wildness. It's really interesting, or just to more of the space that's available, right? Like I was saying, fences, you're getting less fences here. And then the fences are huge here. Like if you think about the walls on the side of the highway, just like, you know, separating us from nature. So I'd say a lot of these wild places are sacred sites. So thinking about that, where the people go to pray, where the earth goes to rest. We talked about accessibility to wild places in kind of from different like perspectives. I would say wildfires, right? You're getting that more in the wild. Like I was saying, practices in balance, like fires spring up, versus like in these highway areas where we're suppressing fire, and now like we're noticing just like an eruption of fire where it could have been little fires. We're now in the age of eruption fires. So then this also, I love educating in my illustrations. So about the ecosystem. Okay, what do we have? So we have like condensation in the clouds, comes down as like rain, forms water sources above ground, and then underground water aquifers. This does come from an original image in Botanical Anatomy that also illustrates, so this is the watershed, it also illustrates like the acid rain coming down and how things become polluted. And I would say that too when I was saying like urban cities and stuff giving you less access to nature, because we're like polluting the nature. So let me know how this was for you. I just thought I'd go in on it a little bit. I had so much fun drawing it, and I'm just like, tell the people. So thank you so much. They always say that, promote your things. Of course, we have a Patreon. We have a seed giving pod. We've got PayPal. You can hire me to make you a zine. All at our website, artisticapothecary.org. You can definitely check out my writings, more videos, whatever you fancy. If you're genderqueer and trans person of culture, of color. We have some programs for you. And in general, we're offering programming for free. So if you can donate in some way, thank you. We also have a wish list on our donation support page. I'm just like, I'm so nervous. It's always nervous, demanding respect and letting people know I need support. So, as always, we value you.